Okay, if you've been following along with this course, by now you should have implemented your user login system. Whether that's with a username and password or using something like Google Sign-In, you now have a way to protect pages on your app, only let users who are logged in access those pages, and make sure that users can only see their own content. One thing that you may wish to do though is create some paywalls or premium tiers within your app that are going to limit access to users based on another property, so not just whether or not they're logged in, but another property which is the account type or plan that they are on. For example, you may wish to have a free tier where users can access certain content on your website, but then they need to upgrade to access the rest of the content. We're not going to be implementing the actual Stripe checkout and payment processing in this tutorial or in this course. I'll have a separate course on Stripe and how to add billing and checkout to your apps as well. But for now, we're just going to work on adding the user's plan, and we're going to restrict access to certain features and pages based on the user's plan. In our example, that's going to mean setting some courses as premium access and others as part of the free plan. Now we've already set up our login page so that our courses page is protected to logged in users. But I want to make a distinction between some courses being pro or premium and others being free for all users to access. So how do I implement that system into my app so that my app knows not only is this user logged in, but are they on the plan that can access this particular course? Now to do that, the first thing we need to do is we need to think through the structure of our app, how we are going to decide on which features or pages are going to be parts of which plans, and think of a way to determine whether or not the user can view that content. So that might be protecting entire pages and leaving other pages open to the free access plan. So we could structure our courses so that we have a free courses page, and then we have another page which is premium courses, and then only let users on the premium plan access that page and all the courses within it. But alternatively, and what is most common, is we need to actually set up a system in our database that's going to tag the courses as either free or premium access and add a corresponding plan column in our users database table. So first things first, I actually need to create the courses table. So I've just asked it to add a new database table for our courses, and we need a column to distinguish between free and premium courses in that table. So we can see that the courses database has been added. We have these 3 dummy courses added to the table, and we have this access type property, which is set to either free or premium. Our courses page now actually pulls from a database of courses. So if we update the title or the details in our database, this card will change, whereas before it was just placeholder design content, not a real course. And we can see that one of the courses has this premium label, which we're going to use later in our system to deny or allow access for users based on their plan. Now, before I implement the user plan system, I actually need to create the page that's for each individual course. I've just asked Replit agents to please go ahead and implement that course details page for us. And then we can update the users table to have different plan tiers. So if I click into this course, we now have a course details page, which is showing what the course includes. If I head back and I click into this premium course, I can actually access all of the courses. So what we want to implement is now a system where this user, if they're on the free plan, cannot access this premium course, but they can access the free courses. So we need to add a plan column to our users database table. We need to, by default, set new users to be on the free plan when they sign up. I've asked it to update any existing users in our database table to just be on the free plan to begin with. Now I need to allow free users to access the free courses, so they can view any courses that have the access type property set to free, and only allow premium users to access the premium course details pages. So let's implement that now. Great, so it's implemented this system for us. Let's take a look. It's actually given some really nice visual feedback. So it's added this grayed out system where if you don't have access to it, this course is grayed out. Let's try one of our free courses. There we go. And now let's try the premium course. So it says course not found. That's actually not the best visual feedback. Instead, what we probably want is to make this button unclickable and to show a message saying that you need to upgrade to use this course. And one more small thing, we probably just want to show which plan the user is on in this top corner here so that we can check to make sure our system is working more easily. Okay, so those changes have now been implemented. We can quickly check which plan this user is supposed to be on. And let's test out this upgrade flow. So now it's not clickable. And when I hover over it, I can see this premium course upgrade to access this course tooltip, which I think is a better user experience than being taken to a broken courses page. Now it's very clear that they need to upgrade. When you have your Stripe checkout set up, that will involve having a button to take the user to a checkout page to upgrade their subscription. But for now, we're just going to manually update this user's plan. Let's see if that lets us have access to this premium course. And I'm just going to manually update their plan from free to premium, save the change, and then I'm going to reload this page, which is going to reload the user's data, including their plan, and we should see some changes on the screen. So reloaded this page and I can see the changes. Now I can see that this user is on the premium plan. And even though we still have the premium badge, I now have the option to click into this course. The button still says upgrade to access, so that's something that we would want to change. Click in, and I can now access the premium course, as well as all of these free courses as well. So just to recap, it's quite common that you will want to paywall or limit access to certain pages or features in your app based on the user's plan. In order to do that, you'll need at least two things. First, you will need a column in your users database table which specifies which plan that user is on. And secondly, you will need to specify certain features or perhaps items in your database that can be accessed with that plan. In our case, we tested an example of a courses database with a type that's either going to be free or premium course. We then checked the user's plan and then decided whether or not to show them access to the premium courses or not based on the user's free or premium plan. But you can actually do this for any element or feature in your app as well. So let's say that we wanted to have a big button here that said, review my app, and we only wanted to let premium users click that button and submit their app for assessment, and we didn't want to let free users have that feature. I'm just going to ask Agent to implement this. Now that we have our users plan column added, it should be quite simple for Agent to implement this feature. So simply I want to add a button. I've just given it some content, so an image and a title. And I only want to show that button to premium users, not to free users. That's a really simple way to paywall certain features, is just to conditionally show or hide buttons or links or access to certain features based on the user's plan. In this case, we're hiding or showing a button, and that button is going to open up access to a feature. But the same logic applies to entire pages. So if you have an app with a side menu and you have a list of pages, you could just block access to certain pages based on the user's plan. An example of that inside RepleStack, where you're watching this video hopefully, is we have a consulting page which gives you access to the consulting tickets, boards, and features, and access to my consulting services. If you're not on the consulting plan, then you don't have access to the consulting page and all the features that belong with it. And all of that is just simply handled based on checking the user's plan and then allowing or not allowing access to the page and that button link. So we now have this new button called Assess My App. Since I'm on the premium, it's nice. It's kind of added the same color for that premium button. There you go. It says, congrats, you can submit your app. Obviously, I didn't add that feature yet. Now let's just change our user's plan to free, reload the page, and we can see that the button is no longer available, which means the feature is no longer available to that user. So just with that combination of a user's plan column and the ability to conditionally hide or allow access to certain features, you can do a lot with your app, creating different plans, tiers, and features which users have access to based on which plan they have purchased. In the next video, I'll be going through a more advanced version of this where you can set usage limits for each user based on the plan that they are on, which is actually a really common and useful thing to be able to do, especially if your app has any AI generation features. So I'll be going through how to set that up in the next lesson.